If you look at this right here, if you look at some of the issues, what is fueling this right now, it shows it's really across the board right now. And if you look at where he was in mid-February and you look where he is right now, he is underwater on every issue from a minimum of 3 percentage points to a maximum of 9 percentage points, specifically when it comes to inflation in the economy, as you point out, which is supposed to be his, his expertise at this point. What is also interesting, just overall too, Sarah, is that he is down 7 points from late February, as we note him being an all-time low. That is an amazing drop in such a short period of time. So Donald Trump right now is having to deal with some of this, some of the fallout with the reality that many of his programs that he's trying to institute and many of his cuts that he's trying to institute are just not taking hold.
Yeah, and to be honest, the tariffs have really rattled people. Now, how is he doing when it comes to border security and immigration, which is one of the things that he was, that really pumped him up for this particular presidential election?
Collapses as well. He's underwater right now, and you have to wonder, is that because of the effort we've seen put forth by the administration in their strident comments, just like we heard about there being some problems maybe. Nothing is going to be perfect when we perhaps will be sending people outside the country that shouldn't be sent outside the country. But if you look at these numbers right here, it just goes to show you that Donald Trump right now has to work harder at not just implementing his plans, but they need to do a better job messaging it right now, Sarah.
Yeah. When you look across the board at this new polling, is there anything that the president is performing well on?
There's always a bright spot, isn't there? Well, yes, there is. There's one issue right now. Take a look at this. It's an issue that really doesn't have a whole lot of sway in people's pocketbooks, but it has to do with gender identity, which really just goes to show you how divided we are as a nation right now, that we're still talking about gender identity right now when we have wars ongoing and the economy right now is really a big concern, not only for us, but investors around the world.
Yeah, all of that. Thank you so much, Mark Preston. It is so good to see you this morning. Now to someone who knows exactly what we're talking about when it comes to polling. And I don't mean our fabulous John Berman. Sorry, John.
Talking about this guy right here. So the president's poll numbers are historically low and they are dropping. The question is, who will that have the biggest impact on and how quickly? One man knows, our chief data analyst, Harry Etten. Sir.
Okay. I mean, look, it's the congressional GOP. It's the House GOP. If the House GOP is under any illusions that Donald Trump's fall in the polls won't bring them down as well, they are living on Fantasy Island. What are we talking about here? Let's take a look at the generic congressional ballot. Democrats versus Republicans. We have 3 polls out within the last few weeks. What do they all show? They all show the Democrats up by 2 points in the CNBC poll. The Fox News poll that was out on Friday, look at that, Democrats up by 7. The New York Times poll that was out this Friday as well, but Democrats by 3. And keep in mind, the House GOP won the popular vote back in 2024 by a little less than 3 percentage points. So when you see 3, 7, 2, averaging 4, that is a tremendous shift. That is a shift of 7 points from the November 2024 elections away from the GOP to the House Democrats. Donald Trump dragging down the House Republicans.
Where are we seeing this shift in a most pronounced way?
Where are we seeing it? We've spoken about it, Mr. Berman. We're talking about independents. This is how you know that Trump is bringing down the House GOP. Look at Trump's net favorable rating. In October of 2024, according to the New York Times, it was minus 9 points. Look at where it is now, minus 30 points among independents. That's horrific. That's historically awful. Take a look at the generic ballot. In October of 2024, the Democrats were ahead, but only by 3, well within the margin of error. Look at where they are now, up 17 points. There is no way on God's green earth that the Republicans can hold on to the House of Representatives if they lose independents by 17 percentage points. My goodness gracious, this is what dreams are made of if you're House Democrats, and it's all being driven, or at least in large part being driven, by Donald Trump's rapid drop with independents.
What does history tell us about how a party does heading into a midterm with the type of lead that Democrats have right now?
Yeah, okay, so I went back through history, right? And I looked at the opposition minority party. That, of course, is the Democrats right now. They're a minority in the House to the opposition of the party in the White House, Donald Trump, a Republican. The average House seats won by the opposition minority party, 234 when leading the generic ballot this early by at least 4 percentage points. That happened in 2006 and 2018. 2 huge Democratic years. Democrats love this number. Of course, we still have months to go. We'll see if history repeats itself.
We do, but this is an answer to the question is, why does it matter what these numbers show right now 100 days into the president's term? Well, there's some history that shows it might matter.
It's exactly right. Oftentimes, the generic ballot actually is quite predictive at this point.
Harriet, thank you very much.
Thank you, my friend.
Let's bring in right now CNN Washington Bureau Chief and Political Director David Chalian. There is a lot that is said. There's a lot that has changed when you look at these poll numbers for this president. It is a different landscape that he's looking at 100 days in. David, what are you looking at in this?
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, Kate. I mean, just take a look at the trajectory of his approval rating over the course of these first 100 days. In mid-February or so, our poll showed him at 47% approval. You saw late February, 48% approval. Those were some of his highest approval ratings of his career. He is now down at the 100-day mark at 41% approval, and we'll show you the historic nature of that low. I want to stress here also, it's not just a low approval rating. Donald Trump, over the course of these first 100 days, Kate, has lost the middle of the country politically. Independents have really slid in their approval of Donald Trump. Again, if you look back mid-February, it was at 43% among independents. That is all the way down 12 points now to only 31% approval among independents. That becomes a political problem, if not necessarily for Donald Trump, perhaps for his party, who has to face voters in the midterm elections a year and a half from now. But we were talking about the historic nature of that. And if you stack up his approval rating now to all of his modern day predecessors, you see that 41% approval is at the bottom of the list, Kate. Just take a look at all those numbers there. Everyone else at this point in their presidency, including Donald Trump himself 8 years ago, had a higher mark than he has today.
David, and on the issues, there's some strong signals being sent on important issues like the economy and like immigration as well.
I mean, this is 2 issues that you just named. Not only are they important in voters' minds, Kate, but they were strong suits for Donald Trump, and he is underwater on both of them now. Take a look. We show you here approval on issues, and every issue we tested, he is below majority support. His numbers are upside down. Now, immigration at the top there, he's now at 45% of approval of handling it. In March, it was 51%. He's lost 6 points. It's still one of his top issues, but he's now underwater. Managing the federal government is the only other issue where he performs better than his overall approval rating. But on foreign affairs, the economy, inflation, tariffs, he's well below his overall approval. In fact, the only issue we tested, and it's not on that list because we don't have trend on it, Kate, where he actually has majority support, 51% approve of his handling of gender identity issues. That is the only positive territory that we see the president in this poll.
The numbers are fascinating. The context that you provide around it, as always, David, is so important. Thank you so much. It's great to see you.